Hello and welcome to this very special presentation on India Today. India Today's eConclave series, and joining me today a very special guest. Indian Vice Captain, the most successful IPL captain of all time, Rohit Sharma. We commonly know Rohit as Hitman. He's been in incredible form in the last couple of years and obviously will be somebody who India will bank on whenever cricket comes back. Rohit, thank you very much for taking time off and speaking to me. First question, let me straight away get you into the act. As and when sport happens, Rohit, clearly these are unnatural times. The whole world wants to know, whenever sport comes back, if it is in an empty stadium, will you be okay in playing? Will you feel apprehensive that you are playing team sport? Or whenever it comes back, will you be okay in playing in an empty stadium?
Firstly, big thank you for having me on this show. It's been a while since I've come on any of this show like that, so it always feels nice to come out and talk. Secondly, I hope everybody is safe in their respective houses. Everybody is following the guidelines, because it's very important for us to follow those guidelines, so that eventually we all of us can step out and start doing what we love to do. And to answer your question, yes, it will be a little strange to play in the empty stadium. I don't know how the fans will take it, but as a kid, I have to go back a long way and think how I started playing cricket with nobody watching me. We didn't have any of these luxurious stadiums to play in. So I think the life will go back to that again, where if at all, whatever rules the cricket board comes up with, we just have to follow that and make sure we try and get to play some game, some sort of cricket. At least people will be able to watch us on television. At least there's something to be looking forward to.
Rohit, what according to you, if to sort of take this forward, if for example we've already discussed the cricket in empty stadiums possibility, something that is being said by people across the world, for example Anthony Fauci in the United States has advocated this, that whenever Major League Baseball comes, maybe players will be tested, maybe they will be put in one stadium. So there has been this talk that if India does go to Australia end of the year, all of this is hypothetical still, but just asking you that for the test series, rather than traveling around, do you think a new model, at least in the short term, can be you play in one stadium and one city rather than traveling around, and that's how we can sort of contain and take precautions and go ahead and play, that you are in one stadium, one city, one hotel?
Yeah, see, once they open up the stadiums, once they open up the fixtures to play for us to play, only then we will get to know exactly how it's going to be planned out. Because from what I gather is less movements, staying in one particular area, and all those things will be very important. And eventually, whichever city or whichever country the cricket will be happening, they probably will have to take all the necessary precautions in terms of medical facilities, in terms of whatever is necessary to avoid or stay away from this virus. Because I'm not really sure as to how long it's going to take for it to completely disappear. Yeah, whatever necessary steps we have to take, and we have to just stick by whatever rules or regulation we've been given. Like what happens to us when we go for ICC tournament, there is always an anti-doping corruption meeting and all that happens, that take place before the tournament starts, and we have to stick by it. And I think in my opinion is what I feel, there will be guidelines henceforth whenever we play about how we control our movements around the hotel, how we control our movement around the city. I don't think we'll be able to go out freely if at all this happens, or if at all we are allowed to travel abroad. all those necessary steps will be taken for sure to make sure everybody is safe. And yes, like you said, every now and then, we have to make sure that we are tested, so that it doesn't spread, or it doesn't easily go across.
Rohit, if I can sort of now change track a little bit. I mean, you are spending time at home. In an earlier interview with India Today, you had actually given a very, very interesting story that when you came home, how Ritika had made sure that your child sort of recognized you. So keeping that in mind, this lockdown period, you must have enjoyed spending at home with your wife and daughter. So just tell me, what is your routine like? And by the way, this is also a question that I've got for you, where one of our viewers have asked the role of Ritika during this period and in the last couple of years in your life, how she has sort of helped you. Okay, I'll read out the question for you. How does he think of the support of Ritika Sajde? And obviously, if you could add Ritika as mother, not only as wife.
Yeah, see, absolutely. She's been like a rock for me. She's always been there to support, to make sure that I get that comfort. I get that, I'm actually at ease. All that comfort that you need when you're outside the field. You need all of that. And with her being around, it makes my job a little easier. The best phase was during the World Cup. I had my whole family in England, and I mean, I was having a great time there, except going and winning the finals. I mean, we did almost everything right there. Personally, for me, I had a great World Cup, so I was in good space, and all the credit has to go to her, and plus my little one also, who in some or the other way has played a part, in making sure that I'm happy. When I come home, I see that smiling faces, and I can take my mind away from cricket a little bit. All those things are very, very important when you're on a tour, especially a longer tour. And Ritika's role has not just been in this little while. She has played a part since I got to know her, which was way back in 2008. She's played a part as a friend first, then as my girlfriend, and then now as a wife and mother. So she's played a huge part in the entire cricket career that I've had, some or the other way. And
Rohit,
yes, now
Rohit, I'll interrupt you there. Why don't you tell my viewers as to how Ritika made sure that your daughter recognized you when you came back? That is such a great story for my viewers to listen to.
No, I mean, see, obviously, it was very important. Ritika realized, once she got to know that she's pregnant, the moment after that, she realized that she needs to know that, her father is always traveling. He won't be around much. So what are the things that she can do? That was her first thought. And she made sure that, whatever little things that she can do, she put the accreditation card that we get, she put it around Samaira's bed, Samaira's cot, so that every time she wakes up, she sees that photo and she realizes, okay, this photo has always been there. It has to be someone important, So, like that. This is a small little example that I gave you. She's done many, many other things to make sure that Samaira never feels that, she's not always around her dad. So yeah, and I've also made sure that, when I get an opportunity to get them over wherever I'm playing, I try and do that. After the game, I go and try and spend a lot of time with them in the hotel. We take her to the pool. She loves being in the water. So all those things has helped me, get some understanding about my daughter and about how Ritika wants to handle this whole thing, and yeah, we all of us, all three of us needs to play part in this in some or the other way, and I think so far we have done that really well.
Rohit, if I can sort of now, we call this show Leader, Legend and Activist. Role of leader. You are vice captain of India, you are captain of the Mumbai Indians. Larger life, I mean larger than life, you're a leader of society. And you know, two things people are grappling with. One, the economic impact of this whole thing. Secondly, the mental impact of this whole thing. What is your routine like? How are you keeping yourself mentally refreshed and physically agile at home? Because there are, you know, hundreds and thousands and millions of Indians who are struggling. So what can be that one mantra that when all of us are locked down at home, how do we keep our mental thing, you know, at a stable level?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very important part, and it can get frustrating. So, which is what, you know, through my social media, I've been trying to send one message across, is to, even at sitting home, you can entertain yourself. How you can, by doing little things, can enjoy that moment. Whether it's, you know, just spending time with your family, whether it's cleaning your own house, whether it's just doing some activity in your house in terms of, you know, keeping your body fit, watching television, watching all these exciting TV shows that are coming up, watching some cricket as well. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that you can do. I know it is frustrating, but I mean, see, it's for our own good and it's for our future. If we don't take care of ourselves now, it's going to be a big problem in the future. And let's not just think about ourselves. We have to think about our child, our grandchild, you know, those generation. We have to think about them also. So yeah, if you keep all those things in mind, I mean, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be disciplined. I think all the more reason now. We've seen a lot of things outside as well. Like if you know, there are not a lot of cars, seen on the road right now. So which means the pollution level have dropped. We have seen flamingo in Navi Mumbai, which has never been heard of before. I heard a story. I heard a story of dolphin coming to Mumbai shore. All these things are very, very exciting, and you know, it's just being disciplined for a month, and we saw what can happen. So I mean, we just need to be aware of how we use our natural resources, how we use things around us. What do we think of our mother nature? You know, all those things are very, very important, and if we keep a track of it, I think it's not about us. Like I said, it's not about us. It's about our future generation coming up as well. They shouldn't be thinking twice, you know, before switching on a television, before switching on the lights in their houses. They should just be able to do it because we have done it. So why should they be thinking twice before doing it? Whether I can use this electricity or not, if it can have an impact on the nature and all those things. We just need to make sure that we are disciplined now so that we can have a good life thereafter.
One thing I want to draw the attention of all my viewers, that all of us have contributed in our own little ways, everybody. Rohit is interesting and unique in that sense because you also make sure that you contributed for you are an animal lover, you are an activist, and that's why I called it leader, legend, activist. Can you talk to us about that side of yours? Because these animals, whether it's a stray dog, whether it's a cat, you know, these animals are suffering, and we are seeing that overwhelming.
Boria, I want to stop you. I can't hear you as clearly as I was before.
You can hear me now, Rohit. It is about, I was asking about your activism. And you have donated money specifically for animal rights, for the cause of animals. If you can hear me?
Yeah, I can, but it's not clear.
Can you hear me now? About the question was about animal rights and activism. And you have donated money for preservation of animals and protecting them.
Yeah.
To my viewers about that.
Boria, I didn't hear anything you said now, so you have to repeat that again, please.
Okay. This is unfortunately the problem of having the connections that we are using at this point in time. Rohit, are you back with me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
You. Yeah.
Okay, good. So the question I was asking is, Rohit Sharma, is that unique? You are unique in the sense that you've actually donated money for animal preservation and animal welfare. Can you talk to my viewers about that side of yours?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer it to. I would prefer that if I don't talk too much about it, because I've spoken in the past. I've spoken a lot about it, and I feel that it's not just you and I who needs to come out and talk about it. It's everyone's responsibility towards our animals as well, like how we treat our family. We got to make sure that some or the other way we have to think about our animals as well around us. Think about what impact it has had on them as well during this difficult phase we are going through. Imagine the animals around us. I can hear a lot of dogs on the street barking because they are hungry. They are not been fed properly. So I mean, we from our side are trying to do whatever we can, and I hope I can see a lot of people also coming forward to help our animals on the street right now, which is a great thing. I just want to make sure that it doesn't just stop right here, because yes, we are going through a phase right now, and everybody is worried about each other. I completely understand that, but I hope this continues for as long as possible, and we treat this as an eye-opener for us. I'm pretty certain, like with the animals that we have around us, it's such a beautiful sight to see the animals around. And like I said, the other day we saw flamingos in Navi Mumbai. It has never been heard of or never seen. They are out there. So Mother Nature is so beautiful. We should try and embrace it, and at the same time take care of it. So I would only urge.
Rohit, if I can come back to cricket, I mean, whenever cricket comes back, there is a T20 World Cup that's supposed to happen. I don't know whether it will happen in October or November or will be next year. Do you think whenever it happens, we in India, I mean, the team that you have, do you think this can become a problem, the fact that you all are staying away from cricket, or it's the same everywhere? And do you actually think that whenever this team comes back, India will be in a position to give a real crack for that title? There will be this extra incentive coming back to sport after a period of time?
Yeah, I mean, see, winning the World Cup is a dream. It's a dream of all of us together. I want to win World Cup. I want to win World Cups. I'm really, like, yes, of course, every time you go out there to represent your country, you want to win every game. But World Cup is something that is the pinnacle of everything. So I want to win World Cups, and this time, we are really not sure when this World Cup is going to happen. But as in whenever it happens, we will have fair amount of time to prepare for it. I'm pretty sure that the cricket boards around the world are not just going to say, okay, everything is fine, we will just schedule the World Cup. Of course, there will be preparation time that will be given to all the countries, because all the countries are under lockdown. Nobody is playing or nobody is practicing, nobody is training, besides staying in home and doing limited stuff. And that is not enough. You know what I mean? I mean, you need to go out there in the gym and start training and get into that routine, get your muscles strong, especially for me, because I was injured before all this happened. So I have a lot of work to do before I start playing. I was just around the corner to do my fitness test until the lockdown happened. So the first thing for me would be to just go and do the fitness test and pass the fitness test, and then obviously hit some balls, because it's been a while. The last ball I played was 2nd Feb. It's been a while. That is the day I got injured. So it's been a while for me. So I'm quite looking forward to go out there and play and do what I love the most. And I'm sure it's the same for all of us, all the cricketers.
Rohit, I don't have much time left, so I will ask you one question that has been sent to me again, and it's a two-part question. In fact, one question that it says, were you slightly apprehensive when you were asked to open the batting for India in test match cricket, especially keeping in mind the number of away series we had? And the second question is, whenever it happens, India versus Australia, that series might well decide a lot. I mean, if that series happens in December, how is Rohit Sharma looking at that India-Australia series? Because it will be, this Australia is different with Steve Smith and David Warner and everyone back.
Yeah, I mean, when the opportunity came to me, there were talks happening quite before I started opening the batting in Test. I was told that you might be opening the batting in the Test matches as well. So I mean, it was 2 years ago when this talk started happening, and I was preparing myself from there onwards. You know, I was in that mindset that I could open at any given point, and at the end of the day, you want an opportunity, right? Nobody wants to sit outside and watch the game. You know, everybody wants to be out there in the middle and being in the battle and taking, getting into that fight. So I was the same. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to play games, not watch the game. So I was ready for any opportunity that was given to me or thrown at me. So in my mind, I was preparing in that fashion. And when it finally came, I was ready. It's just that few technical aspect of the game you need to just be aware of. And I worked on that. And speaking of Australia, yes, New Zealand as well. I was quite looking forward to that challenging conditions to play in New Zealand, but unfortunately it just happened at the wrong time, the injury, and I can't wait to go in Australia and test myself and play the test matches in Australia. It'll be a great series. I know Australia in their home backyard with those two guys will be a different ball game. I know that, and as a team, we are playing our best cricket right now. We've got all the bowlers in the right frame of mind. We've got all the batters in the right frame of mind. Everybody wants to take the game to the opposition. So yes, we are quite looking forward for that series to happen. If it happens, it'll be a great series to be part of again.
Rohit, that's on that note, if it happens is a question that none of us know, but all we will do is hope. Because with hope, with optimism, with science, with technology, with progress, with humanity coming together, as we keep talking about global solidarity and national unity, every possible pandemic or epidemic can be overcome. And we as a country, led by our Prime Minister and the political class, led by everybody, each person contributing in his or her own way, we will overcome this. Rohit Sharma, once again, absolute pleasure talking to you. Stay safe, stay home, be the leader that you are, and sooner than later, we will see you back in India colours. And that's a day when we will all celebrate. Thank you very much for speaking to me, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Corona. India Today with India Today.
When you're up against an enemy who cannot be seen but is very lethal, the smartest thing you can do is to stay home, stay safe. I'm here in the India Today